girl to talk to her is not going to be successful, right? That resume is not good enough to get you the interview. But if you're able to,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will go back. It's your boy, No Sweat in the building. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the intro. You see what's going on here. So let's get to it. That's not
and
for
now
me.
without further ado, we are at part 4, meeting and attracting women. So traditionally speaking, there are 3 major ways I've noticed that guys meet and attract women. The first way is through being a high value male, which we talked about in part 2. The second way is through game, which is the typical, that book by Neil Strauss, mystery methods, stuff like that, using strategies to project yourself as high value to kind of trick the woman. And the third one is the formula that I created called PTO, and that's what we're going to be discussing today, that PTO. So what does PTO stand for? So the P stands for put. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Before he gets into his method, I think there's no substitute for a high value man. If you're a high value man, somebody trying to pretend, like this one book he was talking about, the game where you're trying to manipulate women or trick them into believing that you're something you're not. Anytime you're faking or you're not being authentic, people realize it. It may take some people a little longer than others to figure it out, but they will figure it out. So on to what this PTO method is.
That's not what it stands for. So the P stands for proximity, the T stands for time, and the O stands for opportunity. So let's go ahead and break that down. So let's imagine I told you guys that you had to make the game-winning shot at a basketball game. So if I told you guys that that shot was a layup, how confident would you be to make that shot? What if I told you that shot was a free throw? What about a three-point shot? What about a half-court shot? What about a full-court shot? So obviously, as you see, the closer you are to the rim, the more proximity you have to the rim, the more confident and more likely that shot is going to go in. And this is the very same thing about women. The more proximity you have to women, the closer you are to her to have deep, genuine conversation, the more likely you can be able to build an authentic relationship. For example, if you're in college and you guys are working on a project together, that's basically an alley-oop. If you're working at a popular gym and she works out there consistently, that's a layup. If you live in the same apartment complex and you guys cross paths walking your dogs occasionally, that's a free throw. If you meet at a party of a friend, that's a three-point shot. If you see her walking by herself at the mall, that's a half-court shot. And if you see her driving down the road, you pull over your car to stop and talk to her, that's a full-court shot. And what I realized is that there's 4 major dating hurdles, right?
Before he gets into the hurdles, the proximity, I agree on some parts, but other parts I don't. For example, in school, yes, college, this was like, for one, women outnumber us in college, and especially if we're talking about African American population on a predominantly white campus, or in general, African American women outnumber African American men on college campuses. So that's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, they far outnumber us. So it's much easier. Your odds are much greater in meeting women and talking to women. But the workplace with this whole Me Too movement, especially if you're like in a higher position, you can't approach women anymore because of your position. She can view that as harassment. She feels like she can't say no to you because you're in a higher position. I mean, workplace is kind of, I don't know, that's a dangerous ground to approach women. I think so. He was saying that was like a free throw or something like that. I think you have to take that off the table. It's risky business. I don't know. Also, the social interactions where like you meet at a party from a friend of a friend, I think that's a higher percentage shot than what he's saying, because when you're in a social setting, for one, you're more relaxed than say at work. I mean, I don't know. When I'm at work, I'm there for a purpose. Like, I'm focused. I'm not really looking to meet someone anyway. But I understand that was and is sometimes a way for people to meet. But I think when I meet someone through a friend, I'm more likely to give that person a chance, I would say, because especially if it's a good friend, it's somebody that I know and I trust, I think I'm more likely to let my guard down to give the person a chance. Also, when it's social, I mean, that's what you're there for, to socialize. I mean, so I think that's a higher percentage shot. Anyway, we will continue.
Right? The first one, in my opinion, is being the right person. The second one is meeting the right person. The third one is attracting the right person. And the fourth one is building a relationship with the right person. And so we already talked about the first one in part 2, but the second one is meeting the right person. So if you really break down where do most people meet their significant other, it's 5 major places. The first one is school. Second one is going to be work. The third one is going to be through mutual friends. The fourth one is going to be through church and organizations. The fifth one is going to be online dating, which we'll talk about in a later video. And what you notice, guys, is the top 4 is all based upon proximity and being close to this woman. So that's why a lot of you guys are struggling, because you guys have no proximity to these girls that you're obsessed with. And if proximity is king, then the next one, which is time, has to be queen. So going back to the basketball illustration, right? So if I told you you had to make a half-court shot, but you only had 1 second to take as many shots as you could, how confident would you be to make your shot? What if I said you had 10 seconds to take unlimited shots? What about I told you you had an hour to take unlimited shots? What about 10 hours to take unlimited shots, right? The more time you have to take your shot, the more likely that shot's to be able to go in. And at the same...
Okay. Another point that I disagree with. I think most women, when they meet a man, they pretty much know right away. I mean, just like we do. I mean, I know right away when I meet a woman if she's somebody I would want to approach or not, or, friend or whatever. And I think women do the same. I know they do the same. Talk to a number of women. They do the same. They know pretty early on whether or not you're someone that they consider dating or not. So you can take as many shots as you want. If you're a guy that's 5'9" and she's only attracted to guys over 6 feet, I don't care how many shots you take. And he said earlier it has to be the right person, but then he's coming with, because if you have time, you have way more opportunities. The basketball analogy, you're taking shots. I think what's going to happen is, going along with this basketball analogy, you're pretty much going to be on the bench. I mean, there are some guys that work their way out of the friend zone. I don't know. I don't recommend that approach. I think that you make it known right away. She lets you know right away, pretty early on. I mean, I'm not taking unlimited shots. You ask her out or you let her know your intentions. She either accepts or rejects, and then if she rejects, you move on to the next, or if she accepts, then you go further. But this unlimited shots thing, I don't buy that.
Same exact thing with women, guys. The more time you have with this girl, the more likely you are to build a genuine relationship. Like, if I'm working at a gym and I see a really attractive girl and I never see her again, it's going to be really hard for me to shoot my shot at that moment and be successful. But if I was working at a gym and this girl works out there every single day, guess what? Not only do I have proximity to this girl, also have a lot of time with this girl to continue to talk to her, get to know her, and build a genuine relationship. And that's why a lot of you guys suck at cold approach. Cold approach is too difficult. You literally have 10 seconds to meet a random chick to get her genuinely interested.
Okay, he's going into a cold approach, but I don't know. When I go to the gym, it's just funny. When I go to the gym, I'm there to work out. I'm not there to meet women, right? And I think a lot of women are the same. There are some women, you know them when you see them. They're there with full makeup on, and they're walking around and you never really see them working out. They're just sizing guys up. Okay, that happens. But if there's a woman that's really about working out, she doesn't want any distractions. So, and you're working there and you're approaching the customers, the clients. I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea. Again, with this whole Me Too movement, all she has to do is go and report you to your supervisor or whatever. I mean, no, I wouldn't recommend that. But anyway, let's see what he has to say about the cold approach. I think that he feels that that's negative.
Interested in you to talk to you. That's not enough. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys aren't Derek Fisher, right? You ain't hitting a shot in 0.4 seconds, and you guys need time to be successful. You see, what proximity and time create is familiarity and rapport, and that is literally the fertile soil of building healthy attraction for women. And you see, what happens is that when a girl is familiar with you and she has rapport with you, she's able to let her guard down, be able to be comfortable with you, and that is so important.
Again, I believe the meeting through a friend, barbecue, a party of some sort, birthday party, whatever. I believe that's the easiest approach using this method, because you're gonna have an opportunity to talk to her for a good amount of time. It's at a party or a barbecue. It's a social setting. People are more relaxed. I think that's your best approach. But anyway, I really don't agree with you meeting somebody, say, on the street or in a grocery store or something. That's happened to me multiple times, because when somebody sees something that they like, or you see a woman that you like, or the woman sees you, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have hours upon hours. I mean, you ever shaken someone's hand and you feel like right away it's a connection? I mean, that happens more often than not. Like I said, people know, women know who they're attracted to really early on.
If a lot of you guys are honest with yourselves, you know that your strength isn't in your looks, right? Your strength isn't in your money. So for you just to meet some random girl and to talk to her, it's not going to be successful, right? That resume is not good enough to get you the interview. But if you're able to...
I'm sorry. I will go back. He's like, it's just not in your looks. That was pretty funny to me. He's like, be honest, it's not your looks. Let me go back to what he said. I was laughing.
And that is so important. If a lot of you guys are honest with yourselves, you know that your strength isn't in your looks, right? Your strength isn't in your money. So for you just to meet some random girl and to talk to her, it's not going to be successful, right? That resume is not good enough to get you the interview. But if you're able to go straight to the interview, right? If she's already familiar with you, if you have time to talk to her and get to know her, a lot of you guys can be really, really successful with women. So that proximity and that time creates that really, really impactful combination to build genuine attraction with these women. And the last part is the O, which is the most pivotal part, which is opportunity. You gotta shoot your shot, or as Todd V says, you gotta make the relationship go from man to woman, because a lot of you guys don't use O, you don't shoot your shot, and that's why you guys are getting friend zoned. So going back to the basketball illustration, so let's say you had an opportunity to hit the game-winning shot, and you're wide open by yourself to be able to hit a layup, but you never take the shot. Guess what happens? You're gonna lose.
Now, this is a point I agree with. I believe you have to take your shot. You have to be offensive-minded, because if you don't take the opportunity, you can't. I mean, you don't take the shot, you can't win the game, according to his analogy. And I agree with that. But I don't agree with the unlimited shots. I think you just become annoying and a pest, and you're setting yourself up for failure. You take your shot, she accepts or she rejects. That's it. Like, I don't understand this. Okay, you have proximity and you have time. You can keep, or are you trying to, like, you come in from friend zone, you're saying hi every day, and then finally one day you say, I'm going to ask her out because now she knows me. I made some small talk with her, so now she knows me. Her guard is down. Now I can ask her out. I don't know. I think they know pretty early on. I mean, it is what it is. And as far as cold approach, I mean, if you're confident, I mean, what's the word no never killed anyone. So if you approach a woman and she says no, I mean, it is what it is. But there's certain icebreakers and things you can do. He didn't go into that. I guess he said he's keeping it basic, but I'm no dating coach, but I'm just talking from personal experience. But I don't agree with this time and proximity. I think that, yeah, that can happen. Like in school, that was cool when you're working on a school project or something, but somebody lives in my neighborhood, or I see, once in a while, or at the gym, I don't know about that. Anyway, continue.
You can have 24 seconds on the clock. You can have all day. But if you don't take your shot, there's no way you can be successful and make it in. And that's why going back to part 2, leveling up and build your confidence is so important. A lot of you guys don't have the confidence to take your shot, confidence to ask her out, confidence to make it man to woman. So going back to the guy at the gym, this guy works at a gym, so he has great proximity to the girl. She works out there every single day. And so not only does he have proximity, but he has time, but he never shoots a shot. All he does is say hi and occasional small talk. He never asks her out. He never makes it man to woman. All he does is be cool and platonic. And guess what? He will never be successful. Proximity, time, and opportunity is a
But this is where I don't understand what he's talking about, because if you're saying time and proximity, time, opportunity, the guy sees her, he's seeing her every day. So is he hitting on her every day? No. I guess in the beginning, he's just saying hi. He's making small talk according to you. And then at some point, he's going to shoot his shot. So then you say, well, if you don't shoot your shot, you're going to lose. Yeah, that's true. So what's the point of having all this time and unlimited shots? Because when somebody says no, especially he's at work, and she says no, that's definitely out. I mean, it sounds like these romantic movies where the guy is trying to win her. Oh, he keeps trying. She's saying no, but he's not accepting no. He finally wins her over by the end of the movie. No, come on. This is Disney. This is garbage. You shoot your shot. She says yes. She says no. She says yes. You continue. She says no. You move on to the next. That's it. It's pretty simple to me.
Formula for success. To further bring my point, the New York Times did a fantastic article describing why it's so difficult for people over 30 to make friends. And one of the scholars in the article said that the reason why it's so difficult is because to make friends requires 3 major things. The first thing is proximity. Great minds think alike. The second one is repeated unplanned interactions. What does that sound like, guys? Time. And the last one is setting that encourages people to let their guard down.
Okay, proximity, that's true, but repeated unplanned interactions, that's not time. Repeated unplanned interactions, that's more opportunity. And this third one, the setting that encourages people to let their guard down and confide in each other, that's a social situation. Like what I was saying before, where you're at a barbecue or a party, a birthday party for a friend or whatever. That's what that is. It's not... He's twisting it, but I don't know. Shout out to him. I know he's trying to help men that have problems in this area, and I'm not trying to be too hard on him. I feel that he's trying to help other men, and so shout out to him. I'm going to have a link to the original video down in the description, so you can go check it out for yourself. He has a whole series. I just picked out this one because this one was the one I disagree with the most so far. I haven't watched them all, and I may come back and do another one later, but that's how I feel about it. We'll continue.
And confide in each other. That's all opportunity. You see, the reason why I did this video and wanted to bring this up to you is that a lot of you guys are struggling with women today because you don't have any PTO. Because a lot of the modern women aren't out like they used to. Most people today are staying at home. Obviously, we have this, this situation going on. But even
Pandemic.
before that, most women stay at home. They rather Netflix and go out. They rather hang out with their friends on Saturday and drink mimosas and go to baby showers on Sunday. So they're not.
Again, he's like, he continues to contradict himself. So, I mean, most women rather stay at home and Netflix. Well, where's this Netflix and chill coming from? A lot of women like to Netflix and chill with guys. So, I don't know. Then he says, yeah, and they like to go out with their friends. Yeah, they're out with their friends. You never been to a club or a bar or somewhere where you see women out with their friends? I mean, if you're solo, I wouldn't suggest that you approach a whole table full of women. You have to be pretty brave for that, and you're setting yourself up. Anyway, take a wingman. But this, and then he's like, baby showers on Sunday. Well, if there are baby showers, we know how babies are created, right? So, I don't know. For me, it was just, I mean, this video is filled with contradictions, but like I said, he seems like a good dude. It's the first time I ever come across any of his videos as far as this series. And I think, like I said, he has good intentions. So anyway, let's see what else he has, or do I cut it? Let's see.
Not really going out and not really being involved. So a lot of you guys don't have the proximity, time, and opportunity. If you guys remember, if you went to high school, went to college, that was the perfect time for meeting women. And now we don't have those opportunities anymore. So because most of you guys are going to lack the PTO for the woman that you desire, we're going to have to move towards on.
So we're going to cut it right there. What did I get from this video? First of all, I agree with shooting your shot. I agree with being confident. I agree with this. If you're in college, this is a perfect place to meet women. But there was a few things that I didn't agree with. Like I said, just to rehash, the workplace, that's a very slippery slope. This whole Me Too thing, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. I would steer clear of that, especially if you're like in a management position and you find someone that's in a subordinate position attractive. That could be a problem. Or even if you are on the same level, if you're a guy that she finds attractive, then it's okay. You know, they don't see it as harassment. But if you're a guy that she doesn't find attractive and you keep shooting these unlimited shots, it could be a problem. So you can find yourself in the HR office trying to explain why you're taking these unlimited shots. I think it's, some of these concepts are a little outdated, but I feel like the brother is he has good intentions. So like I said, I'm going to leave a link to the original video down below, and your boy No Sweat is out. Till the next time, peace.